and welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. Time for us to switch gears into the Events Watch segment of the show. We are going to be postulating, or we're going to be giving you an overview of some of the games that you need to be watching out for. In case you're watching the show and you're wondering how we achieved this particular set, we're going to be giving the set was actually made possible by CK Star Sports, who actually facilitated the set for today. Now, these are some of the fixtures that you need to watch out for this coming weekend. The English Premier League officially kicks off this weekend, and the game is going to kick off. Fulham is going to be pitted against Arsenal, and then Crystal Palace is going to be playing against Southampton. West Ham is going to be playing against Newcastle United, and then Liverpool is going to be playing against Leeds United. Apart from that, on the 13th of September, we are going to be having West Brom versus Leicester City, and then Tottenham Hotspur is going to be squaring it out against Everton Football Club. I think this is the day that you're going to see whether James Rodriguez, who has officially signed for Everton, is going to step up his game. Switching gears into the world of NBA, the NBA playoffs, the following fixtures are going to be played. That is, Miami Heat is going to be playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, who had boycotted their match fixtures a couple of weeks ago. And then Los Angeles Lakers, led by LeBron James, is going to be facing it out against the Beards team, that is James Harden's Houston Rockets. Apart from that, Formula One action, the Tuscan Grand Prix is going to be taking place this coming weekend. I beg your pardon. And for the first time, Gasly won the Italian Grand Prix that took place last weekend. Now back to our panelists of the day, Simba and Shilenje. I just wanted to get your takes on what you think the fixtures are going to be. We have Chelsea versus Brighton. Your take, which way is it going to go?
Chelsea have to win that one. Okay. I mean, with the players that they're bringing in, and with the expectation that we have seen them have because of a massive transfer season, I think that they're going to be too strong for Brighton.
Okay. Yeah. Shilenje, do you agree?
Yeah, they should win.
Should be an easy fixture for you.
No, it's not easy. There's no easy fixture in Premier League. They'll struggle, but they will win.
Okay. Tottenham Hotspurs versus Everton. Which way?
Whoa. This is a good one. Everton has so many good signings.
Yes.
We wait to see how they will click, but I know it will be a tight contest. It's not a game of many goals. So, but anybody can take the match.
Okay. Simba.
But you know what? Coming to think of it, I think Everton might beat Spurs. And I'm coming from this perspective. I mean, we haven't seen Spurs click under Mourinho. They've actually been struggling so much. And if you look at the transfer season, they haven't really done so much in this window. And you can actually see Everton really trying to address some of their deficiencies from last season. I think for me, and I give you a perfect score, 2-1 to Everton.
2-1 to Everton.
Yes.
Sheffield United versus Wolves. Wolves is being led by a young coach.
Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Going by their performances last season, the last match Sheffield won, beat Wolves.
Yes.
I don't think Wolves are going to allow it again. It's a very tight one, but I give it to the Wolves. They have to win with a clean sheet.
Finally, Simba, I want you to be the devil's advocate on this one. Fulham versus Arsenal.
Of course, it's gonna be Arsenal.
With the Teta mode officially activated.
I don't want Shilenje to look back at our pre-season and say that we were beaten by Blackpool. No, I mean that was a pre-season game. We're doing a lot of experiments, but I think Aubameyang-led Arsenal will be too strong for Fulham. I think from there we're gonna see a 3-1 score.
Allow me to dispute.
Yes. What do you make?
First of all, such a game is a derby. It's a big game. It doesn't depend on anything, whether it is form or whatever. It's who is better on that specific day. Going by history, Arsenal usually struggle
against Fulham.
Not even against Fulham. The first games, Arsenal struggle.
Yes.
Same to Manchester.
Yes.
The first, let me say 1, 2, 3 games, especially the first game, they really struggle.
Yes.
So if they do better, a draw. But Fulham might win.
Fulham are just coming back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes. Fulham are just coming back, aren't they? And if we really go back to the history again for Arsenal, even if we've had really bad, I would say, seasons in terms of the way that we start, I will take it back to 4 or 3 seasons ago where we've been really performing really bad. But again, if you look at our winning rate against the teams that normally come on board, yes, we might edge out Fulham.
You can't rate Fulham at that level.
They're just coming back.
It's a team you
Come
play.
on.
They have everything.
They're just coming back, man.
No,
Okay.
even so, but
Yes.
it's a team you are familiar to Arsenal.
Yes.
They're very familiar.
Yes.
Regardless of the division they are playing in.
Yes.
These are teams that know each other very well. And that is why
Yes.
that's what makes a derby interesting.
Yes. Hopefully now with the newfound energy and Arteta, and then if he keeps on sort of preaching and talking the wine, the way he's been doing to the Arsenal players who are very young and very ambitious, I would say yes, we might have a very interesting game. But at the end of the day, when you look at it from my perspective as an Arsenal fan, I think we're gonna win against Fulham.
Another interesting fixture: Crystal Palace versus Southampton.
Oh, that's a very interesting one as well. Here's the
Which
thing,
side?
though. I'll give it to Crystal Palace. I have my reasons.
Liverpool versus Leeds United. I think both teams have something to gain and to lose in this particular fixture. So which team will you go for?
This is also a nice fixture to watch out. Leeds is a team that has done very quiet business, but they've signed quality players. They've signed Rodrigo from Valencia, Spanish international, top striker. They are rumored to be chasing Julian Draxler.
Hopefully they get him, by the way.
If he comes in, that's a different team. And remember, they are breaking here to spend so long time in the championship without playing the Premier League. So when they come back, they have a point to prove. So Leeds against Liverpool, championship versus Premier League, is a tight game, a game of goals. I give it to Liverpool. However, if they slip, they get a surprise.
They have a surprise.
Simba.
But here's the thing that sort of gives me proper confidence, especially when you're looking at Leeds. I'll go back and see exactly that they performed in the FA. Well, you'd expect that a team like them that wins the championship would actually scare most of the Premier League teams, but they didn't do that much of last season in the running to the FA conclusion that.
I think maybe because of their targets.
Yes, because of their targets, isn't it? But I would say though, but if they actually come in with the same mentality that they did go all the way to win the championship, then Liverpool, of course, you have to take it to the bank. They gotta score against Liverpool. But can they win it? I don't think they can win against Liverpool.
Okay. The final fixture game, that is West Ham United versus Newcastle United.
Newcastle is interesting. Wow. I mean, you don't expect... I mean, they were struggling for relegation, if you remember this season. Why? Is it because they lacked the manager who brought them out of relegation? Just remind me his name. I shouldn't forget. Anyway. Benitez. All right?
Benitez.
Okay, if you look at Newcastle, their investments have been wrong. And if you remember, that's one of the reasons why Benitez actually said, I'm going. Because then I asked for money to come in and sign good players. Because once you come out of the championship, good. I mean, they were there for a season. And very few teams do that. Like, you get relegated, your manager sticks with you and says, I have a plan for you to come back. He came back, and then he asked for money, actually.
They
didn't give me the money. Then he said, well, then there's no need of me being here, because I don't think that this is going to work out. And you can actually see that they struggled for entire last season to actually go in and win games that are winnable. They didn't actually win them. So for me, here's the thing. Newcastle, still, they're going to continue struggling this season as well. And I don't expect them to win their first game.
I think Newcastle, or comparing the last season, they had big problems going forward.
Yes.
In the final third, they didn't score goals.
Yes.
They didn't have many goals as expected. And what they've done this season, they've signed 2 strikers, key strikers from Bournemouth, Callum Wilson and Fraser.
Fraser,
Yeah, good additions, and I expect them to do better. Beginning of the West Ham, I give it to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Considering the fact that Fraser and Callum Wilson,
Wilson.
they were at some point they were teammates. So having that combination,
Yes.
it's gonna be
They
interesting.
have Premier League pedigree.
Yes. But here's
Used
the
to Premier League.
Yes.
They're just coming in to fit into Newcastle.
Shilenje, but here's the thing though. Remember, when you look at the players that West Ham have, and if you remember, they were also carrying a lot of, I would say, players who failed to work out in these other teams, and now they just pretty much took them back to West Ham. That's the same thing that Newcastle is actually also doing, because then they're looking for cheaper players who have been in the league, who can actually come in and elevate the team. So for me, I would say this: yes, West Ham against Newcastle is the same. I would say the same sort of band of cloth that's going against each other. But when I look at the problems that Newcastle have right now, it's not just in forward alone. Well, they have players who actually I would say championship quality, because the same players who are playing for them in the championship are the same players, majority of them, that are playing for them right now. So here's the thing though, I do not expect that they would actually do so much against that Newcastle would do so much against West Ham. West Ham, yes, they're both teams that are really neither here nor there, but when you put them together, there's something that West Ham has that Newcastle doesn't.
Okay, so goal, how many goals do you anticipate?
Here's the thing, they're gonna score each other because they have problems at both ends. 3-2 to West Ham.
Very tight. Newcastle win, clean sheet.
Okay, so that's all the time that we had on you, for you on the Metropole Sports Center. Just off air, Simba was still reiterating the fact that the Arsenal away jersey is still the best out of the kits that were released this season. Well, in case you're wondering where we got the kits for today's show was proudly branded by CK Star Sports, in case you are interested in having the shirts. And you can get them on all the platforms, that is CK Star Sports, on IG and on Facebook. Well, that's all the time that we had for you on Metropole Sports Center. Hoping you had a fantastic sporty weekend, Premier League weekend for that matter. See you next week, same place, same time.